I think today is the 4th day of this Srimad Bhagavatam class. We won't call it Sapta. Sapta means 7 days. This is 8 days. So, Nitya Seva. Nitya Seva. Continuous, every day.
What number is this? This is number 1.
Before I start, a humble request for your blessings from all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, so that I'll be able to say something relevant to today's class. Thank you. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari we just recite the Mangala praise together. Om Ajnana Timanandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurmanitam Prena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manopistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Vidati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yukta Pada Kamalam Sri Rupam Swagajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vikam Kam Sajivam Sarvaitam Sarvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sadhana Devata Sri Visakam Vikam Shah Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopishka Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tata Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrindavanusate Devi Pranamani Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhisya Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Patihana Pavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Jataka Swami Ti Namane Namacharpadaya Nitai Kripa Vadayine Ora Kata Damadaya Nagara Gama Tarini Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desacharini Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna everyone. Hare Krishna everyone.
Hare Krishna.
So welcome to the fourth chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Fourth day. Sorry.
You can do Prabhu 5-6 of time, don't worry.
So before we start the class, I'm going to give the introduction of His Grace Hema Krishna Prabhu. His Grace Hema Krishna Prabhu came from Chinese family, from Malaysia. So His Grace Hema Krishna Prabhu came from Chinese family, from Malaysia. Most of his family members are devotees, as you all know. So he's actually from the devotee family, and his family is well known for the generosity and helping others, especially helping devotees. So they do all the services. So basically, Hema Krishna Prabhu is multi-talented. He can cook, he can do this, he can do everything. So he don't mind to do any services, whether it's the big service or so he can do any service. His mother Yamuna Leela Devi Dasi, disciple of His Holiness Jayaptaga Swami Maharaj. She's well known for her enthusiasm in Kirtan, and she's also very generous for helping others, for helping devotees. And Hema Krishna Prabhu, before she goes to bed, actually he actually recite the Srimad Bhagavatam for her every night, for her mother. And at the same time, he translate in Chinese, because she don't know much English, so he actually translates. So you just imagine, like, every day every day, all the year. So he's actually one of the pillar for this ISKCON Perth congregation, and he's like actually father for us, as you all know. Whatever we started today is Bhakti Vriksha, and ask people to join Bhakti Vriksha is all because of Hema Krishna Prabhu. Because we actually don't have any qualification, but Hema Krishna Prabhu said, you just started and people will come, just make sure you behave properly. People don't care so much about the knowledge. Firstly, they want to see your behavior, and once they're convinced that you have the right behavior, then they're interested in knowledge. But if you give them the knowledge first and your behavior is totally opposite, they don't come. But there is so much knowledge on the internet. So, and he's like a father. So anytime we are in trouble, especially me, he's just like straight, he's just right there to help me. And it's not only once, like so many times. And hopefully all they have the same experience. And all the Bhakti Vriksha are well growing in Perth area under his guidance. And he's always there to inspire us. He's well known for his devotee care aspect. So if you have anything you want to share and you want that confidential, then Krishna Prabhu will never share with anyone. This one I can give guarantee. And so last year actually Ankur Prabhu approached me and said that we want to arrange Srimad Bhagavatam. I say I don't have any qualification. Please don't think that I can arrange. I don't have any qualification. But yes, you have to follow the what do you call forget the word.
The process?
Yes. Guidance. You have to follow the process. Yeah. So I asked him to approach Hema Krishna Prabhu, and then things will manifest. Although it looks like it's impossible thing, 7 days, every day we have Srimad Bhagavatam Prasadam, needs so many arrangements. But if you approach him, the things will manifest for sure, and things happen. Ankur Prabhu says it's not possible, 7 days, how can we manage, how can we cook? I said don't worry, we all are team. So as long as team is there, and team is like a family, so definitely things will happen, and it will happen. So last thing, I want to say one verse from 6th Ashtakam about his qualities. Tranadapi sunichena, tarorapi shahishna, amanina manadena, kirtana sadahari. This is verse 3rd from 6th Ashtakam. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. And one should be more tolerant than a tree. You know the tree condition, anything can happen, he stay there. So it doesn't matter what the people do with that tree, he stay there. He's so much tolerant. So Hema Krishna Prabhu is like that. It doesn't matter what people says, he just always humble. Devoid of the so one should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others and don't expect anything in return. So that's Hema Krishna Prabhu quality. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. So I will repeat in Hindi as well. स्वयं को मार्ग में पड़े हुए तृण से भी अधिक नीच मानकर, वृक्ष के समान सहनशील होकर, मिथ्ये मान की कामना ना करके दूसरों को सदैव मान देकर, हमें सदा ही हरिनाम कीर्तन विनम्र भाव से करना चाहिए. So I find all these qualities in him: humbleness, tolerance, patience, always give respect to others, never expecting anything in return. That's my realization, because I was actually thinking so many times to give other people to other speaker introduction, but I'm not really qualified. But then I think I'm like his son, so I actually write some words.
Thank you very much to Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu. I think I might fall from the seat, Too much of glorification. All I can say is that devotees always have sweet words for others. That's one thing, good quality of the devotees. They never speak bad about others, even some may have weaknesses. but they are always thinking of their good qualities. I have a lot of not so good qualities also, but because he sees a lot of, he sees with the right angle, all the good qualities. If you do see any good qualities, I would give credit to my spiritual master, His Holiness Jataka Swami Maharaj. Without his blessings, I don't think I'm still in this Krishna consciousness today and practicing, along with my many family members whom I take you all as part of my family, and also to devotees who have helped me along the way, like my good friend Shraku Prabhu, and also Punya Sloka Prabhu, and all the Bhakti Bhiksha group members who we group together and try to do something for ISKCON Perth, and also credit to Subal Prabhu, who actually initiated this Bhakti Bhiksha. We just continue from behind. Somehow we just tag along, and today we have a nice, good group of devotees, and it seems to be growing, and a very good sign. And also, I'd like to say one good thing is that not only the team is growing, the harmony, the unity, and the cooperativeness, as you can see, to do a 8-day this program needs a lot of work, a lot of help. You can't do it by yourself. You need a lot of assistance. By only having this good relationship with devotees, they are always there for you. Not only there for you, but even the day when we leave the body, they are there for you, to chant for you, to make you remember Krishna, to help you on your journey back home, back to Godhead. That's a wonderful thing. That's a wonderful family to help us, not just in good times. What about bad times, Isn't it when we need help, when one is in the hospital and all that? That is a time when the devotees need a lot of assistance. That is what we call love. Not that when we sit together and have prasad, and then when we are in trouble, no one comes along. That is not real love for devotees. So I thank to everyone from the bottom of my heart for coming here and taking time to listen to me. And I'm not really a Sanskrit person. A lot of devotees knows that I know a little bit of scriptures, but I'll share with you whatever I had heard and read from the scriptures, and whatever I had learned along the way from my observations from the devotees and also my own family members. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 So today's class is on the power of praise. Are we aware that we are constantly praying the whole day? Are we aware? Sometimes we meet a friend, we say, I wish you all the very best, Some friends is going for holiday and say, have a good trip. Sometimes, the younger children can say, I'm having my exam, all the best with your exam. Actually, we are constantly praying for others. Sometimes they say, a friend had not been good to us. I forgive him. Oh my Lord, I forgive him. So our life is actually full of prayers. Whether he is an atheist or an atheist, even he's an atheist, he's actually praying, but without knowing that he's praying, that's all. So prayer is something that most of us are actually doing regularly, especially for, I would say, Mataji's. They are more prone to do prayers as compared with the Prabhus. I still remember in my younger days, my mom, small that time, she would take me to the temple. That's how I get to know, all the devatas, Buddhas, and Tara, and all the different gods, and, all the different temples, Christian church and all that. I was so been, So constantly the parents, you can hear them, they say, oh, I pray that my son health is getting better. Oh, I pray that he'll pass his exam. I pray that when you grow bigger, I say, oh, I pray that he'll get a good wife, isn't it? I pray that he'll have grandchildren. So constantly, your parents are already teaching you how to pray. So same thing. I have been learning from my mom. That actually we need to pray. And praying is a form of act that gives you some degree of peace in your heart. Isn't it true? When after your prayer you feel that, oh, I feel better now than before. So prayer has some degree of potency. So in this Srimad Bhagavatam, actually, this pure Purana is just full of prayers from the beginning until the end. Lots and lots of prayers. First canto, we can hear this Kunti's prayer. This is very, very elevated praise. Why do we want to read Srimad Bhagavatam and listen to understand all these prayers? These prayers are expressed by very, very elevated soul. They are not ordinary living entity. They are, and most of them are associates of Krishna and his expansions. They are here to teach us how to pray. Then we also have the prayers of Bhishma Dev. Then we have the prayers, the Chatusloki, the prayer of Brahma. We have the prayer of this Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, the Prachetas, and then we have the prayers of these gopis, and also the cousin of Krishna, Uddhava. There are so many prayers that you can read from the Srimad Bhagavatam. And the mood that they pray also is not like asking like my mother when we were young, oh, I want this, I want that, please grant me this, grant me that. Afterwards, we're going to go through some of the prayers, and you'll be surprised of what they ask for. Very, very surprised. Nothing to do with material gain. That's the difference between this in the Srimad Bhagavatam and what we can learn from the Vedas. Vedas, we have the 4 Vedas. We have the Atha, Yaju, Rig Veda, and Sama Veda. But these Vedas are 95% and above. They actually teaches us how to come from the lower platform of the mode of ignorance to passion, and then to goodness, then a few percent only to the level of pure goodness. Pure goodness. That's the reason why Vyasadeva, he wasn't happy. He had done so. He had written all these Vedas, and he had also written all the Puranas and so many scriptures he had written, but he wasn't happy. And he was just thinking of a spiritual master. I have to ask my spiritual master as to why I'm not happy. As for us, those who have a spiritual master, or maybe you can have like Shiksha Guru or Diksha Guru, sometimes we come across difficult problems. We seek for guidance because certain things is beyond our ability. And in this case, even Vyasadeva, he's the literary incarnation of the Supreme Lord, and yet he also comes to a level of trying to understand this problem. And Narada Muni told him, although you have written so much of Shastra, helping people and all that, but you did not really glorify who? Krishna. That's why you are not happy. So he understood it. That's how we came up with, that's why this Srila Vyasadeva wrote this Amala Purana, the pure scriptures. And these scriptures are about Krishna and the devotees who glorify Krishna, who have total dedication for the Supreme Lord Krishna and all his expansions. And I would like to also give an example that how actually we can, we can connect with the Supreme Lord. Sometimes if we have a deep relationship with someone, you can actually connect. It's just like a telephone. If you know what you call the frequency, you can connect with someone. So once my brother, he went to the temple to do some seva. That was, I think, maybe about 20 years ago. And they were cooking and everyone was busy, and there was one pot of oil, okay? And they were just heating up the oil to fry probably samosa. I think I saw a lot of samosa today, isn't it? ISKCON is famous for its samosa. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So what happened was that somehow he accidentally, don't know how, that he was so busy cooking, and my brother is, he really moves very fast. His hand went into the oil. The oil is hot and boiling. And what did he call? Sorry? Krishna. You know who he called? Mom! He said mother. Because he's also just joined the movement. So the closest to him he can think of is mother. Mother's love is closest to the love of God, they always say. Mother's love. So he called. And my mom at home, like she was resting. She just jumped out of her bed and she went to the back of the house in a half awake state and used some of the washing liquid and put into the kettle. Squeeze into the kettle and start boiling the water there. And bubbles were coming out. She doesn't know what she was doing. She was like in a shock, it's like someone called. Why I relate this story I'm just saying that when you have relationship, deep relationship with someone, just like a mother and son relationship, you connect, isn't it? Just connected. And my mother sort of afterwards, she felt something is wrong somewhere, something is not right. So somehow my brother, they brought a big block of ice, not just one small piece of ice. They bought a big block of ice and asked my brother to put his hand, and lucky he was okay, somehow by the grace of Krishna. And we always say that even bad things happen, it is for a good cause. It's a removal of some, not good karmic things. So, but the main thing I want to relate is that the connection is there. It's like a prayer for my brother, isn't it? When you say, Mom, just like when we are in a dangerous situation, we say Krishna, isn't it? But some, the boyfriends will call the girlfriend's name, the girlfriend will call the boyfriend's name. But if they're engrossed into that thought, because my brother's, his love for my mom is very, very strong. So just like, that is, for me, it's like a prayer when he call out to mom. For me, it's like a prayer, his prayer to mother, calling for help. So as we practice also, we call out to Krishna. So this is very important. Don't call out to your husband or wife and all that. Because in the scriptures they say that if you call out to your husband or wife, what happens?
You come back.
You come back here again. So you want to go back, you come back, you have a choice. So if you want to go back to the spiritual world, you have to practice now to call Krishna and not your wife or your husband, not your son. But there's someone who called his son and he got liberated too, isn't it? Who is it? Ajamil. So these are special cases, and very rare cases. It happens. So just what I'm trying to say is that we are doing prayers, but our prayers should always be thinking of Krishna. Why do we need to learn all these prayers, from all these great Mahajans and all that? Why? Just like a doctor, isn't it? You want to be a doctor, you need to learn from another doctor who is teaching at the uni. And then afterwards, you finish your being this medicine, you need to practice. You need to do housemanship. I think it's 2 years. Any medical doctor here? How many years probably you're working in hospital?
Registrars can be up to 10 years.
10 years. No, I mean for a doctor, how long they need to?
Study university.
Yeah.
5 years.
5 years, and then they do housemanship, isn't it?
Internship.
Internship.
Yeah.
8 years. So it's a long time even to be a doctor. So to be a devotee, we need also to have guidance to learn from all these great devotees also. So we need to listen, like these prayers and all that. Why do we need to learn these prayers from them? Because they have already gone through the path. They have gradually gone through the path. They had already become very elevated, pure devotees of the Lord. Let us see the prayer of, just an example, the prayer of Kuchi Devi. Okay? Mother Kunti Devi glorified the Lord. He actually knows Krishna is a supreme Lord. She knows actually. So one of the prayers I just like to say a few words about these prayers. Just imagine that she says that Queen Kunti said that she wished that all these calamities would happen again and again, so that they can see Krishna again and again. So by seeing you, we no longer have to go through repeated birth and death. That's our understanding. Do we dare to repeat this sort of prayer? How many of us actually dare to ask for these prayers? And you know that Queen Kunti's life, there's so many calamities that she went through. Bhima was being poisoned, and then they lost the gambling match. They have to be exiled, and Draupadi was, being forced to be disrobed, in the assembly of all the great, the king and all the generals and all the royalties. And then also going to the jungle, exile for so many years, 12 years, I think.
13 years.
13 years, and 1 year incognito. And also like, when Duryodhana play a trick on them by calling Duvasa Muni. With thousand over of the disciples, 6,000 disciples, 60,000 disciples, to have a feast in their home. Imagine, it's a forest. They got nothing other than that special pot. The pot. What do you call it? Akshapatra. So that pot actually can feed that 60,000 disciples. And I suppose most of you know the story. So what I was trying to say that so many calamities. How many of us can dare to ask for these calamities? Anyone dare to say? To say that, oh, I like to go through this?
If we can see Krishna, yes.
We have to be very careful. I'm not joking. What they have gone through is thousands of times what we are going through. So we have to be very, very careful of saying we want to go through. What they go through is no joke, It's not a joke. Then they are not ordinary devotees. They are very, very elevated devotees. Because even one hurdle, we can be knocked out. I'm not joking. One big hurdle, you can say, I give up. These are not just little hurdles, but these are really big hurdles in life. That's why we have to be careful of what we want. It's only that when we are on that level, she's on that level because she's not an ordinary living entity. She is an associate of Krishna. They are here to play the role. So they can take it. For me also, I dare not even think or say that I would like to have a go. I dare not, really, frankly speaking. Because it's a really big hurdle. I mean, other than we haven't really gone through struggles in life, if we have gone through, then we'll know what is actually a big hurdle. As we have gone older and older, we will go through many and many more hurdles. When we are young, everything are provided for and all that, everything is easy. When I look back in my parents' life, they had been a big struggle. For us, it was a little bit easier, but I've seen the struggle they went through. And we always want, something better for the next generation. So this is one of the prayers of Queen Kunti. And I would like to also speak on the prayer of the Gajendra. And I suppose most of you knows the story of Gajendra. How many have read the story of Gajendra? Srimad Bhagavata. Okay. So Gajendra is actually an elephant. He's actually the elephant king of a group of big fleet of elephants. And he actually was having like a party, like a family outing. Okay, he was enjoying himself. Like family, isn't it? We like to go and enjoy. Okay, whole family, a few cars, let's go here, go there. Excursion somewhere. So the excursion to a riverside, very scenic, very beautiful, enjoying themselves, having a bath. Elephants, what they like to do? Take splash and shower, isn't it? And splash each other with water. What happened? Next moment, Gajendra was beaten by a crocodile. Okay, this is not the ordinary crocodile, but it's also one of the leader crocodile. Got on his leg. Elephant is actually a very strong animal, isn't it? But on land it can be strong, but on water, crocodiles are stronger because it's a different place, isn't it? Because crocodiles, there's a crocodile's area, that's his zone. When you go to another person's zone, it's a difficult area. So his leg was already caught by this crocodile, and he was fighting for thousands of years, fighting and fighting. He is actually the king of the crocodile, and I imagine he must be very strong. But somehow he's becoming weak. Becoming weaker and weaker and weaker. So I would like to read this verses, a few verses from this Gajendra, Canto 8, 25 to 33. Can I have Canto 8, please? Canto 8. Can I have Canto 8? Oh, you have? Sorry. I should have asked earlier, I'm sorry.
Which chapter is it?
You read from we just put Gajendra.
Oh, yeah. 25, yeah?
Yeah, 25 to, you can read it from 25 to 32. It's okay. Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, it's okay. I think we can have it enough. Now everything is on the phone now.
Propaganda.
Yeah.
Which chapter?
So this is Canto 8, Chapter
So
2.
Canto 8, yeah.
Yeah.
Please.
What shall I?
Yeah. Read from verse
25.
25 to 33, please.
The king of elephants entered the lake, bathed thoroughly, and was relieved of his fatigue. Then, with the aid of his trunk, he drank the cold, clear nectarian water, which was mixed with the dust of lotus flowers and water lilies. until he was fully satisfied. Text 26. Like a human being who lacks spiritual knowledge and is too attached to the members of his family, the elephant, being illusioned by the external energy of Krishna, had his wives and children bathe and drink the water. Indeed, he raised water from the lake with his trunk and sprayed it over them. He did not mind the hard labor involved in this endeavor. Text 27. By the arrangement of providence, a king, a strong crocodile, was angry at the elephant and attacked the elephant's leg in the water. The elephant was certainly strong, and he tried his best to get free from the danger sent by the providence. Verse 28. Thereafter, seeing Gajendra in that grave condition, his wives felt very, very sorry and began to cry. The other elephants wanted to help Gajendra, but because of the crocodile's great strength, they could not rescue him by grasping him from behind. Verse 29. O king, the elephant and the crocodile fought in this way, pulling one another in and out of the water, for 1,000 years. Upon seeing the fight, the demigods were very surprised. Verse 30. Thereafter, because of being pulled into the water and fighting for many long years, the elephant became diminished in his mental, physical, and sensual strength. The crocodile, on the contrary, being an animal of the water, increased in enthusiasm, physical strength, and sensual power. Text 31. When the king of the elephants saw that he was under the clutches of the crocodile by the will of providence, and being embodied and circumstantially helpless, could not save himself from danger, he was extremely afraid of being killed. He consequently thought for a long time and finally reached the following decision. Verse 32. The other elephants, who are my friends and relatives, could not rescue me from this danger. What then to speak of my wives? They cannot do anything. It is by the will of providence that I have been attacked by this crocodile, and therefore I shall seek shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is always the shelter of everyone, even of great personalities. Text 33. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is certainly not known to everyone, but he is very powerful and influential. Therefore, although the serpent of eternal time, which is fearful in force, endlessly chases everyone, ready to swallow him, if one who fears this serpent seeks shelter of the Lord gives him protection. For even death runs away in fear of the Lord. I therefore surrender unto him, the great and powerful Supreme Authority, who is the actual shelter of everyone. Verse 30, this is still 33, right? Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu. Actually, this Gajendra's food already is caught by the crocodile. Actually, it's actually the next chapter. I was thinking, oh, it's not. So, but I just summarized because I was told that only 10 minutes. I didn't realize the time just goes by. And I was thinking of quite a few more things that I would like to speak.
You can take more time. You can have more time.
Okay. Because I want to speak a little bit about Srila Prabhupada and all that too.
You will finish the talk. You finish the talk.
Okay. So Gajendra's foot was caught. So he was thinking, no, what is the use of my family and friends and all that? They are around me. You have heard, friends are trying to help him and all that. This is actually happening when we are leaving our body. Okay? Who can help you? Nobody can help you except Krishna. So
Hare Krishna, everyone. Can I request everyone to please remain silent? Please just respect the speaker. He's trying to speak Bhagavatam. Please, I request everyone just for a few more minutes. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
So he was saying, who can help me? This is the later part that actually the surrender comes. No one can actually help me now. You know? So he said he's on the verge of like giving up already. So he remembered somehow he was that king Indradumya in his previous life. Some very, very fortunate devotees, somehow they can remember their previous life. Like who? Bharat Maharaj. Bharat Maharaj, he remembers his previous life. Although he came back as a deer, but he remembers his past life. So even this king of elephants, he remember, I was a king before. What am I doing here now? I'm going to die any moment. And my relatives, my friends, my family members, none of them can help me. So what he did, he just thought of the prayer, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Took a lotus and offered to Narayan. Okay? Offer this to Lord Narayan. And the Lord coming down, you know, straight away. You see, because of his prayer, because of his love, the connection is so fast, isn't it? He just offered, he was just thinking, I got no one to turn to now. You are my Savior. You are the only one that can save me. That connection, straight away, the Lord came on the Garuda, flying and landed. And he took his Sudarshan Chakra and cut off the head of the crocodile and release him from the clutches of this crocodile. And he was saved. So he understood already. You know, he understood that now I should cultivate nicely and go back home to Godhead. So these are very elevated soul, you know, but sometimes some have to go through difficult time to realize that only this end of the day, the Supreme Lord Krishna can save us. So all these, you know, this prayer, sometimes it's good to learn some of the prayers in Sanskrit and all that. It helps, it's very purifying, and also, you know, understand these stories will also help us to go forward in our life. I would like to also speak on this Srila Prabhupada. Once Srila Prabhupada was giving a class in London Manor, many years ago. Okay. So after the class, Srila Prabhupada said, I will not fall. What did he say?
I will not fall.
That means he will not fall from his position. From his position as a acharya, as a preacher to the Krishna consciousness. Okay? He said, I will not fall. So after the class, Srila Prabhupada goes to the deities. He prayed. So one devotee was observing him, you know, because he heard the class from the beginning to the end. And Srila Prabhupada had said, he wanted to ask him, ask Srila Prabhupada, what were you praying for? You prayed for something, but I want to know, what did you pray for? Srila Prabhupada says, I pray that I will not fall from my position. That's what he prayed. But then the devotee say, but you already said you will not fall, but why do you need to pray? Don't need to pray, isn't it? And Srila Prabhupada replied, it is because I keep praying that I will not fall. I will ask the blessings that please make sure that I do not fall from my position. Then I can maintain this position. You see the humility in devotees. The more elevated the devotees, the more humble they are. That's why they can maintain the position. So this is a great lesson for us. Sometimes we feel that we are already very advanced, isn't it? I speak for myself, and thinking, well, I'm already advanced. I don't have to worry. Any time Maya can come in any form, and we can fall. We too have to constantly pray that may they grant us, the blessings so that we will not fall from our position. So these are little things that we can learn from the acharyas, great devotees who are already in that pure devotional platform. That's why we need to constantly listen, associate with devotees, hear and practice whatever their teachings. These are of utmost importance. And talking about intensity, I would like to relate one story. Everyone pray, isn't it? We go to the temple, we just bow our hands, oh yes, Krishna, please help me with this, help me with that, and all that. Isn't it? But sometimes when friends come over, yeah, hello, is that intense? There's no focus, isn't it? So I would like to say, just to compare the intensity of this example I'm going to give of Akbar. You all know Akbar? Who is Akbar? He's the Mughal emperor. And there was one girl, also they're going to the same direction. This girl was very much in love with someone. Okay, she's in love and the boyfriend is coming near the train station and Akbar is actually going to board the train soon. So Akbar just put his mat near the place, the quiet place. He got his guards and everything. Put the mat there. So they pray to the Lord 5 times a day, isn't it? Yeah. So they put the mat, it has to be clean. Start bowing down and pray. And this girl was so engrossed with the boyfriend, nothing she can see, but only the boyfriend in her mind. Running, he said, I'm late, She doesn't want to miss the boyfriend, coming down and looking for her. She said, I want to be there first. She ran and ran and ran. She don't even know the king is there. She stepped on his mat. This is a dangerous thing, isn't it? Step on the king's mat and then step on it and went over and the king saw, not very happy, but didn't arrest her. But just summoned her. Just later, I said, could the guards tell, I want to get her to the court tomorrow. I want to see her. Okay. So next day, the girl actually managed to meet up with the boyfriend. Very, very happy, isn't it? She didn't even realize that she stepped on the mat of the emperor. Imagine you step on the mat of an emperor. Our head also, sometimes we have to see whether we can keep our head. You might chop our head, isn't it? So that's risky business. So this Mughal King Akbar summoned the girl to come to the court and asked her, why did you actually, were you not aware that you actually stepped on the mat that I was praying on? This is actually unrespectful. Okay? The girl answered, I didn't realize that at all. I didn't even realize that I stepped on your mat. You know, I was just thinking of my boyfriend. I was so engrossed in it that I just stepped and then I just go forward, you know, without looking, without thinking, you know, just went forward. The mind was absorbed in his boyfriend. Absorbed. So Abbas then the girl asked the king, you're supposed to be praying, isn't it? Isn't it? You're supposed to be praying. How come you were aware that, you know, the king should be, oh, you know, the mind should be engrossed in the praying of Allah. Okay? But how come you knew I stepped on your cloth? I don't even know I stepped on your cloth, you know. So what does it show? So Abba asked him, what happened to you? You know? So the girl explained, I'm so absorbed in thinking of my boyfriend, I stepped on your cloth, I'm sorry. But then if you are praying, how come you were aware that I stepped on your cloth, you know? You should be absorbed. Actually, this girl was teaching Akbar that actually trying to tell him, you lack the intensity of praying. You're just praying, but you're doing only practical exercise of bowing and up. And, you know, you are not really actually praying, you know. There's no connection, isn't it? But this girl has connection with the boyfriend. You see the connection, as I told you, the connection between my brother and the mother? That sort of connection must be there. So prayers, when we say we pray, we must have that connection. So that intensity is very important in our prayers. Not just praying, you know. Just that's why in the temple we try not to disturb those who are actually in deep thought of prayers to our deities, because they are connecting with our deities. That's why the intensity of prayer is also very important. Everyone can pray, but with what sort of intensity? Some people, they practice praying at night, isn't it? Some, I think, have the habit of after a day, morning, they get up, they do some prayers. At night, they do some prayers. So the main thing is the intensity of our prayer. The more intense our prayer, the more we connect. Our Maha Mantra is also a prayer. Are you aware of that? The Maha Mantra is also our prayer to who? Krishna. We're asking Srimati Radharani, please engage us your service to Krishna, Sri Krishna. So that's also a prayer. So how deep we go into our chanting is also depends on our intensity. It's just Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare. We're looking here, looking there, checking our phone. This is now it's a pastime. I wouldn't say that I'm not doing. Sometimes, you know, I was thinking, oh, important message, you know, yeah, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Something that I shouldn't be doing, but we have to be, careful of all this, because our prayers to Krishna is watered down. You want to have more intense prayer, get up at a certain time, a muhurta time, where that is very conducive for the prayer. And we can go deep into this prayer to Krishna, and progresses on our path of Krishna consciousness. So I think I will end here. I think there are other programs. So any questions or Anything? Before we go on to the next part of the program. Any questions? No question?
Observation. Observation.
Yes.
It's
Yes,
interesting
Bhante.
in most of the Bhagavata situations where you have people facing situations like Gajendra or Draupadi, etc. They get that benediction from the Lord when they finally relinquish all self-initiated means of effort, trying to save themselves or liberate themselves. It's through surrender or sharanagati
Yeah.
that when you become a pratapatti totally, that then Krishna, Vishnu actually issues forth and actually gives you that benediction of moksha
Yes.
or enlightenment, whatever situation it is. When
That's
you
true.
give up all those self-initiated, I can do this, I can do that, because that's still hamkara.
Yeah.
So once you get rid of that, which we all have to practice, then Sriman Narayan, Krishna, whoever, Narasimha will be there for you.
That's right.
But it's a stern test.
It's a big test. Even the Gajendra also have to let go. Say, I no more attachment to the family and all that. Draupadi, the same thing. You know, she was still holding on to her piece of cloth, you know, on the teeth, biting on. She want to surrender to Krishna. When did Krishna came? When she raised her hand and let go, isn't it? Bales of sari just came. No? Until Dushashan also is too tired. He said, enough already. I think. Game over. Because that's, as Prabhu say, total surrender. No more, you know, I try to do this myself. No more trying. That's why in the Bhagavata, chapter 18, text 1866, isn't it? 66 that, Krishna in that sloka also say that, drop all religion and just surrender unto me. Do not fear. I'll take away all your sins. But how many of us are on that platform, you see? So it's the more we surrender, Krishna says, I reciprocate according to your surrender unto me. Chapter 4. Is that 11 or I reciprocate? According to your
4.11, I think.
Huh?
4.11.
4:11, So Krishna, he also knows your degree of surrender. She knows. He knows your degree of surrender. Thank you, Prabhu. Dipti Mataji, you have a question?
Indirectly, I got my answer.
You got the answer.
Yeah, I got my answer. But I just wanted to understand the philosophy behind the Gajendra, story. I don't understand because I'm not that level. But when Gajendra was praying through his past life, he remembered all the prayers. But when Narayan came, he liberated the crocodile first, then the devotee of his, which is Gajendra.
Yeah.
How would you explain that in terms of power of prayer? Because prayer was done by the Gajendra himself, not the crocodile.
So why was he given the first
Liberation. Correct.
Well, I think it's nature. The crocodile is giving a lot of pain to the devotee, Then I think the Lord, or even any one of us would do the same thing, Because if a friend in danger, what would you do first? Save him, isn't it? So that's what the Lord is doing, the same thing. Save his devotee. Kill the crocodile first because he's giving a lot of pain to his very dear devotee. So by killing the devotee, the crocodile is also liberated, isn't it? Also liberated. So it just works both ways. I think Harini Marja asked a question.
I think Prabhu.
Yes. Hare Krishna Marja.
Her question is, why we are stuck with so so many material duties, how we can do intense prayer?
We are stuck with so many
Material duties.
material duties.
How can we do intense prayers in that situation?
How can we do intense prayers? Well, I think all of us have a lot of material duties, isn't it? Everyone have material duties. As Krishna also spoke to Arjuna, do your duty. But what he add on? What did he add it on at the back?
Think of me while doing your duty.
You do your duty for
Me.
me. You just have to add Krishna at the back. Then everything is complete. Just that easy, isn't it? Easy said and done, isn't it? Because as Prabhu was saying, that the total surrender also is not an easy thing. Even I sit down here and say about this and that. But to be on that platform, you have to practice. You got to keep going. Even you do not make it this lifetime, you got to come back, you continue your journey. You just have to be determined. This lifetime, if you are very determined, hopefully, as Srila Prabhupada say, if you are 100%, into this Krishna consciousness, one lifetime you can go back to Godhead. That's what Srila Prabhupada says. That. So we just have to add Krishna, that's all. Nothing else, just Krishna. Everything you do for His pleasure, that's all. I hope that answers your question. Yes.
We pray every day and on different occasions, and mainly, especially me, when I'm in trouble or if I'm in a situation, I pray. But what I really wonder is, I'm trying to be a devotee. What should I pray on a daily basis that I can apply? And also, who should I pray to? Our spiritual master or to the Lord directly?
Very good question. What do we pray for? You see, the first thing that comes to my mind when I started my journey, I always prayed for, let me advance gradually. Rather, I do not think of a big leap because I'm new. Let me have good association with devotees. Let me learn whatever I can from the devotees who are more advanced than me. By now, you are very fortunate to have the association of Vishnu Prabhu. By the association of an advanced devotee, you can pick up a lot of things by the way he acts, by the way he talks. By just the behavior, you can see a lot of, you can learn already. How, that's why, in Bhagavata, he says about how he sits, how he eats, how he walks. All these things, all the knowledge actually is in our books. You don't have to look everywhere, you just have to read Bhagavad Gita scrutinizingly. All the knowledge are all there, and later. And that is the first thing that I would think about, how I can grow in Krishna consciousness. And the second part you say that who should I pray to, isn't it? So we always believe in the parampara system. We always go through our guru. Like I always pray to my guru because he is my connection. Rather than I say, I also pray to Srila Prabhupada, but my guru is my connection to Srila Prabhupada. So I always pray to my guru first. He connects to Prabhupada. Because Krishna actually likes devotee to connect with their guru than to go direct to him. If you read the scriptures well, you understand. He doesn't want you to jump. And not only to jump, but to know Krishna is not an easy thing. we say Krishna is absolute, he, even the absolute word seems small, but it's actually a very, very big word, to understand absolute also in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The initial stages also is explained about what is actually absolute. So it's better to go through our Guru. So your Guru is not around, you have Shiksha Guru, like Prabhu can be Shiksha Guru, or you take Punya Sloka Prabhu as your Shiksha Guru. So we learn all this from our senior devotees. Those who had already are on the path, are progressing. So we always, if you want to progress in material life as well as in spiritual life, you should look for people who are more advanced than us. Like in material world, I was also a businessman. Okay? I would always look for friends who are successful in their business. Isn't it? Those who are advanced in their business, they know how the technique, the way how to do business and all that. Same thing, you apply this in your spiritual life. You see someone who is more advanced than you learn from him. You can tell by the action of person whether the person is advanced or not by the actions. So I hope that answered your question. Any more questions? Yes, Professor.
Our prayer success and fail, how it depends on our prayers, like what we need to do.
Sorry?
The prayer success and fail,
Yeah.
sometimes you get success by praying. Somebody seeks you are praying and they come out of good health and all. Sometimes it doesn't happen. So what would be the reasons, and whether our prayers are not listened by Krishna, or I don't know the reason why.
No, there are many reasons. Sometimes we pray and we feel that, we have good results. Sometimes we pray, opposite comes, Then we say, Krishna, I don't think you listened to my prayer. I wanted this result, And how come you're giving the other result? I'm not asking for this, but you're giving me this. So what do you think? So we must always think that Krishna's, whatever he does for us is for our own good. Sometimes he might give you something which may not be good for someone. Just like someone go and pray, I want to win $1 million lottery, please Krishna, if I strike it, I'll help you to build a temple. Okay? If I don't strike, then I don't believe in you. So someone strike a lottery already, $1 million, they forgot about Krishna. Not only forgot about Krishna, but got themselves into trouble. I read an article about this person who struck lottery, $1 million. He stopped his job. Every day he was hanging out in the pub. After a few months, he was in a disease state. He had got to go to hospital because his nerves and all that, he can't walk properly already. So he said in an interview, he said, this is the worst thing that I got. From who? The Lord, give him some blessing, give him a $1 million lottery ticket. And it cost him to become, half dead, He has to stay in the hospital and all that. So what is good? So the $1 million is good for him or not good for him? From the beginning, it looks, it's good for me. But in the end, cost him so much of hardship. Some people, $1 million, they want to divorce already. They say, okay, you go your way, I go my way. And, let's be happy. Yeah? It happens. You can see a lot of things happening in the news and all that. So these things may not be good for us. So who knows better? Krishna. So don't think that my prayers are not answered. Prayers are answered, but not to our expectations. So that's the only thing. We are expecting this result. But whatever result Krishna gave you is good for us in the long run. Yes, Prabhu.
I would just like to add there in Nectar of Devotion also, it's explained that there are different levels of devotees. And the highest level of devotees, with the highest level of devotion, they don't ask for anything. They don't ask for anything. They say, whatever Krishna, however you keep me in good standard or bad, whatever way, in whatever condition you keep me, but just keep me in your devotional service. That's it. I don't want anything else. So
these are all the Mahajans, the pure devotees. They want nothing else. They don't even want to go back to the spiritual world. What do they want? Continuously to serve. Continuously to serve Krishna in whatever circumstances or wherever. These are the very elevated devotees. Just like when the gopis, the Narada Muni, went to ask them, I need a bit of dust from your feet. Imagine you dare to take your dust and give it to Krishna. He was, isn't it? The dust from your feet, because Krishna has a headache. You want to give your dust to Krishna? The gopi says, even I go to hell also, it's okay, no problem. That is the love for the Supreme Lord. That is the love of these pure devotees. Even in Sixthastakam also it says that Krishna, even you crush me or you, what was the last verse? Yeah. What was the translation?
Handle me roughly by your embrace or make me broken hearted.
Yeah.
By not being present before me.
Yes.
By not being present
before me.
Yeah.
That is very, very elevated, because that actually the Sixthastakam is actually different stages of cultivation that this Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is trying to teach us.
Just one last thing, Prabhu. Just what we learn from our Guru, spiritual masters as well, that even if you want to ask, there is a way of asking. Even if you want to ask for someone else, there is a way of asking. We say, Krishna, if you so desire, then please do this. We don't demand anything from Krishna.
Yes, thank you. Prasikana?
Prabhu, I was just, if you give me the permission, I wanted to answer Bhikti Mataji's question.
Okay.
So she asked who that crocodile,
Who the crocodile was?
So that crocodile was actually a Gandharva in his previous life. So he was on a Gandharva planet. He was trying to enjoy with one of the women in the water, and Devala Rishi was also taking bath in that water. And this Gandharva, his name was Huhu. He actually pulled the leg of Devala Rishi underwater.
Who?
Devala Rishi.
Rishi.
Pulled the leg.
Okay.
So Devala Rishi became very angry, and he cursed him that you'll become a crocodile. So at that time, the king who realized that, oh, I made a very big mistake, that I, played a prank with this Rishi. So he begged forgiveness and he said, please let me not become a crocodile. So he said, now the curse has already been, it's gone. I mean, you will have to go through it, but I'll give you one more benediction that in next time when Supreme Lord comes to save Gajendra in the form of elephant, he will come and kill you, and at that time you will again reinstate your Gandharva position in the Gandharva planet. So crocodile again becomes a Gandharva and Gajendra becomes liberated.
So thank you very much. I don't think we should hold. I think Prabhu is already waiting very patiently. So thank you very much, for giving me the chance to speak something that from the Srimad Bhagavatam and about Srila Prabhupada and devotees. So thanks. Kantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Radha Madhava ki jai, Gopal Krishna ki jai, Gauranitai ki jai, Jagannath Baladev Mother Subhadra ki jai, Sitaram Lakshman ki jai. Panchatattva ki jai, Bhakti Shingadev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gurudev ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Thank you.
His Grace Hema Krishna Prabhu ki
Jai. Gurudev Sri Prabhupada ki Jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for giving